Hello, this is Walter from Champions Way Perfect Mind. Today I'm going to show you how to create a blog post on your new WordPress website. First things off, of course, you want to go into your website and log in. So your domain name followed by WP-admin. Then you just input your username and your password and it will take you into the dashboard. From here, you can see your navigation on the left hand side. So you can go to posts, you can go to all posts or new post. And I'm going to click add new. So blog is actually a great way to generate content on your website. And by that I mean basically creating blog posts with proper keywords, tags, categories, and then people can comment on those blog posts. So you're generating basically free content for your own website, which Google of course in turn will index and rank as long as they have been properly set up, meaning a proper keyword, category, and tags. So new post. So let's say I'm going to be doing a post about let's say bullyproofing, for example. So the title, this is basically where you want to input the keywords. So let's say I live in Vancouver and my neighborhood here would be North Vancouver. So let's say I'm going to basically title my page North Vancouver bullyproof. North Vancouver bullyproof. Now with the easy to use editor, you can basically come in and basically start typing in your post. So I'm just going to basically grab, just going to go to google.com here. I'm just going to grab some info, but of course you do not want to be doing this. You want to basically have unique content. So because copyright is a big issue, copyright infringement. So if you copy the content from another website, other informational documentations, whatnot, these are all copywritten. So basically the owner of that content could in turn turn around and basically have a copyright lawsuit against the person using their content. So this is just an example, like I said. So please do not copy and paste content from other resources into your own website and claim them to be yours. If you are going to do something of that nature, like Wikipedia, you pull the information from, you got to make sure that you do footnote where the information came from. So bulletproof material, and as I said, I'm just going to pull this for an example. So let's just go from here and let's do a Google search for bullyproof. So now as you can see, many articles will show up based on bullyproof, but let me just pull something, 5 ways to bullyproof your kids, for example. Now this is coming from kidshealth.org. So if you were to use this, you would have to basically place a footnote saying that this is where the information was taken from and it's not your own. So I'm just going to do something like this, and now I'm going to go into my editor and I'm going to paste it. Okay, so now of course bullyproof, North Vancouver bullyproof is my keyword, so that should be inputted into the content area as well. So the good news is that because North Vancouver bullyproof, and of course it's got to be proper language usage. So by just pasting the keyword into areas on your content, it's what they call spamming your content with keywords, overstuffing. So make sure that if you are adding it, it's added in properly as normal language would be spoken. For example, the good news is that because North Vancouver bullyproof program has made national headlines, so of course you got to be careful about stuff like this. But of course, like I said, generate your own content. So once I have my content in area, I've added a proper H1 tag, which is my title with the keyword. I've added the keyword into my content area, and they say minimum 2 or 3 times the keyword should show up in the content area. The opening sentence should also house that keyword, and this is just basic Google guidelines, and you can of course look up optimizing web page, and they will basically outline the actual proper techniques and guidelines recommended by Google for doing this. So once I've got my content in place, I then basically can categorize this. And so by categorizing, I'm talking about if we go into the blog post, people can actually search for different content from your website. So from here, so now if I look up my categories and I go into martial arts, basically the WordPress blog will basically show you different articles about martial arts because that's our category. So important thing to do. So you can basically choose one category that's already here, or you can add your new category. Once you've done that, you then basically want to add your tags. Now this is very important because this is what Google's going to use for different queries that are basically used on the search engine. So for example, if I type in bullyproof and I am in North Vancouver, Google is going to set up your page as one of the results for that query. So your tags should basically mimic your keywords. So of course one of my tags is going to be North Vancouver bullyproof, and you can separate with commas. So if you want to add more than one, you can, and then you can just make different references. So North Shore, so again, this is the area and how it's classified in my neighborhood. So the North Shore is a bigger area. So I would normally suggest that you don't basically, like for example, if you live in Houston, Houston is such a large city that basically these tags, if you're putting, Houston bullyproof, chances are you're not going to rank very well because it's such a large metropolis. So you want to break it into neighborhoods. The same as what I did here. North Vancouver bullyproof is good because that is my neighborhood, but the North Shore is a bigger area, so that I might not be able to rank so well for it, but I'm just going to put it in there for an example. But like I said, keep it down to neighborhoods, especially in a large metropolis. If you live like in Tucson, Arizona, with Tucson, you might get away with using the Tucson reference just because it's not a densely populated city or metropolis. So anything over 3 mil, you will not rank for. So the rule of thumb is normally if your population density is less than 500,000, you probably can go for the whole city. If it's larger than, I would advise basically going with your neighborhood. So I've got North Shore bullyproof, and then I could add something else like bully-proofing children. So basically different keywords of this nature. So once you have it set up, you can then just click the add button. And you can see here, these are my different tags I'm using now. And these again are used for queries run on the search engine. Once I have it ready to go, I can then actually publish it. So this means it's going to be a live post, or you can just preview it so you can view what the post will look like. So this is what you will be looking. The nice thing about these particular blog posting is that now when I create my post, I can now share it on my Facebook wall. So if you have a Facebook page for your school, you can then basically share it to that page, and now this post will appear on your Facebook school newsfeed. So that way you don't have to go and repeat your work. It's automatically basically shared with you, and you can do that of course with all your different social medias that appear. Once it's good, I can then just go back and I can now publish it. So then once it is published, it's basically a live post, meaning that Google will basically index it and rank accordingly. And then of course this does take time for Google to index and then to actually start ranking that post. And there's a few different algorithms that go into play here in order for these pages to be ranked up and come as top 10 results and whatnot. But that's a really good start. Then if we go into the web page, we can actually go ahead and view that post. So I can go into blog, and then we will have that blog post appear. And now of course you can actually link to these posts by basically just clicking the read more button. You can then basically copy the link, and then you can basically have a direct link right from your Facebook post if you wanted to, hyperlink it right to the posting itself. But because you are sharing it via the share buttons on your blog, that's not something you really need to do. But if you wanted to add the link to like a newsletter or on your other web pages, you can definitely do that just by going into the post, clicking the read more button, and then basically copying the URL for it. And most of our new WordPress themes actually include a section on your home page that actually brings up the actual posting. So on this particular layout we don't have, but on other layouts we have the area, for example on this layout, where the posting will appear right on your home page. So I believe it's the DM1 that we want to look at. But it's basically a section that we can add to your website homepage if you so desired. So, oh, excuse me, and I just did it to the wrong one again. So we will go to 2. But this is a section that we can add or remove from your website homepage. So what I usually advise is to use the blog for, of course, posts, but also to set it up as your news and events feed. So for example, if I was in the right database, my bulletproof post would appear right here. So you can set it up in this manner. So if you have any upcoming events or news advertisings you want to do, the blog post is a great way to maintain that particular section. So whenever you add a post, it will automatically appear on your homepage as long as the section has been applied. And like I said, we can add that to any of the layouts we offer. So I hope this was helpful, but main things to remember about blog posting is make sure that you have a title which is relevant on the service and the area you are conducting it. So Bulletproof is my service, North Vancouver is my area. So make sure that is part of your title. Then remember to add that keyword as you see it here into the content areas. At least 2 or 3 times minimum. One of them should be in the opening sentence of that content area. And again, do not overstuff the keyword just to put it into the content. Make sure that it's proper language usage. So if you wouldn't have it as dialogue, then don't insert the keyword just to have it in there. Make sure that it's proper English. Other than that, you can also, of course, come in and add basically images into the post itself, all of that. And by using the tools, you basically can add even a YouTube video if you wanted to embed it. So all you have to do is add media, and then you can drag and drop the file right inside of it. Or you can go to the media library and pull any of the images that you have already inside of your editor. So that's easy enough to add media. In order to add YouTube videos, like I said, you would need to go into YouTube. So let me just give you a quick example here. You would have to go into the YouTube platform. From here, if you have a YouTube channel, excellent. You could go in there and pull a video out from your library. So for example, let's say I want to put my WordPress overview inside here. So all I would do is bring up the video here at, and let me just mute that. And from here I go to the share. You can see a little pop-up open. I go to embed, bottom right, and this will now give me the embed code. And here you have some of the different options you can add. Show suggested videos when the video finishes. This I highly advise to uncheck it, otherwise you might have competitor videos showing up after your video, something you definitely do not want to do. Show player controls. I advise keeping that on, that way people can stop it, play it, rewind it, so forth and so on. And then show video title, also a good idea. Enable privacy. This is only if you want the video not to be found, but videos are really big on social media as well as ranking factors. So Google is actually ranking videos. And again, that's another topic, but again, videos should be tagged in YouTube with the keywords that the video is about. So if this was my bulletproof video, I would want to tag it according to the keyword I'm using. So again, very important to tag your videos in YouTube. So now that I've got my embed code, oops, I would just copy this guy out, go back into my editor. Now inside of my editor, I would basically be putting my video. Now because this has to be done in the HTML of the page, we have to actually change this to text. So we are in the actual HTML of the page, and now I'm going to put this at the bottom of my page. So I would just paste. One thing you want to remember is the width cannot be a set width. So for example, it says 560. This means that the width of the video is 560 pixels. Now, because websites are responsive, meaning they will readjust themselves to fit mobile devices, tablets, and whatnot, you want to make sure that your width always is set to 100%. Because 560 is larger than the width of a mobile device, you would break the page, so people would not be able to view the page properly. It would not display. So now I can preview my changes once again. And you can see my video is now inserted into my post. So really that's all there is to actually adding YouTube videos or media for that much into your page. For adding an actual image, of course, a lot easier to do. You would just basically need to choose the image you like, and then you would insert info into your post, and you are now basically good to go with the image itself inside. But again, you don't want to add a video and an image on the one page. Either one or the other, not both. But other than that, you can now go ahead and save your page. Now I'm not going to save this out because this was just an example, and the problem is when you're inserting the video, as you can see, my insertion was basically added right inside the actual YouTube video I inserted. So I kind of, I'm going to just back that out because it will not be working properly now due to the fact that I inserted the video inside of the actual iframe I had for this guy. So we're going to pull this out again. And just go right over top of this because I inserted my video or my image, excuse me, right inside of the video iframe, which will of course end up breaking the whole image itself, or not the image but the actual video feed. So you can see there's my video, and of course once I publish this guy, I will now click update. It will basically update my blog post. So again, if I go into posts, and let me just go back into blogs, excuse me, and once I click the read more button, It will now insert my video right here. Again, once you share it, this will automatically be added to your newsfeed on your Facebook page that you are syncing to. I hope this was helpful. As I said, blog is a great way to generate excitement and keep everybody up to date on what's going on, as well as creating actual more equity for your website via the internet. I hope you have a great day and more videos to come. Enjoy your new WordPress website.